Hey friends, this is Travis again, Fool and Scholar Productions, editor, dude, and drinker of tea. Today, I just wish to let you know a little thing that's happened. I'm editing The White Vault. I've been editing for about 5 to 6 hours today, and I've spent maybe 3 or 4 of those hours, like the majority of the time, on about a 60-second portion of the episode. I'm not going to tell you what happens, but it's full of a lot of action and things that occur. And action doesn't necessarily mean violence. It could just mean like people rustling bags and stuff. But this single minute of stuff contains, this is like the area, you can see the cluster of sounds, and they don't really mean anything to you guys, but you can see there's a lot, sorry, it's this minute, a lot of sound effects going on in rapid succession and getting them all perfect, and literally many layers. Not all of them are being used, but probably, let's say 30 or 40 tracks of use out of 70, and it is a lot of work. So don't be afraid to make more tracks. And another sort of mixing thing, the reason I have so many tracks is because it makes it easier for the sound engineer to isolate stuff. So if I put everything kind of mixed together, like for instance the sound of me brushing bags, or playing with cloth to recreate the sound of someone walking, that would all go on like one track, and I wouldn't want to put like gunfire on that track or the sound of tap dancing on that track. I do horror fiction, so I think in typically more scary sounds. But so that's why I've got so many, and that sort of explains a little bit behind the thinking. Also, we had a mention of why pan center on stuff. That was asked earlier. So I pan all my tracks to center. That is so the mixing engineer has a lot more mobility to pan it left or right with my notes. Apparently, if you don't do that and you give it to a mixing engineer and they're not aware of it, they might do a hard pan, which means if you're holding one earbud in, you will hear no sound coming if the sound is panned to the opposite earbud, as opposed to like, only 30% of it. So it'll be mostly leaning to the left, that sort of stuff. So that is why we don't do panning at my phase, which is the editing and sound design phase, but rather strictly at the mixing phase. You can also see on the top, I've got like a bazillion notes, which I'll transcribe into a nice little, oh, that's not anything at all, which I'll be transcribing into a little text doc for Brandon. So wishing you guys a great evening. This is Travis. Thank you so much, and more mixing stuff as it happens.